The Chakralytics Show.
Namaste and welcome. 9 suggestions, book suggestions for studying Kashmir Shaivism on an intermediate level. And I would also like to give you some background information and some information on the writer and maybe some context according to my understanding. And if you have any questions during this video, I invite you to ask them in the comments below, and it's my intention to answer these questions. And if you like and if you appreciate what we're doing here, what we're creating, I warmly invite you to like and subscribe. Thank you for that, and you have my gratitude. 9 suggestions, 9 book suggestions, and I will start with the first one. So in the last video we talked about I suggested some book suggestions for the beginner, for beginning with studying Kashmir Shaivism. And we ended with the doctrine of vibration in the last video. And now in this video for the intermediate, we're going a little bit deeper into this. And the first recommendation I would like to do is this book called The Recognition Sutras, and it's written by Christopher Wallis. Christopher Wallis is the one who has also written Tantra Illuminated, and I've suggested Tantra Illuminated also as the first one in the beginner series, because it's I found it to be very accessible, Tantra Illuminated, and that's what Christopher Wallis himself has explained in teachings and in videos, that his intent is to make things accessible for a seeker, for a devotee, for a practitioner, with not necessarily a scholar background, not necessarily an academic, and he tends to elaborate and give a lot of context, and he does the same with the Recognition Sutras. It's quite a big book. We also have the Pratyabhijñāhṛdayam, because that's the Recognition Sutras is a translation of the Pratyabhijñāhṛdayam, created by Kṣemarāja, by a revered master, Kṣemarāja. And to give you some comparison, Jaideva Singh has also translated the Pratyabhijñāhṛdayam, and it's quite a difference in the thickness of the book. So I would recommend this as the first read in the intermediate series, and then, well, then it's a bit. For myself, I feel what feels right, and I have to say some books I've written from cover to cover, and some books I'm still reading through, and some books I still have to start with. But I have experienced myself that I'm reading certain parts of books and then moving in between books. Often it feels very, for me, it feels very aligned to to see different perspectives on a subject. What I said in the previous video as well. So even go into quantum physics, for example, for a while to get things clear for myself. And I feel that it's with the study of Kashmir Shaivism in general, the texts are very dense and very deep. So to me, it makes perfectly sense that it will perhaps take some time to go back to it and to dive deeper into it. On a later time, we can grab something out of it, what resonates now, and then move back to it in multiple times. So a next step, it could be, I don't think I have a specific order now. These are just the intermediate suggestions, I feel. And just feel what I do is feeling what feels right. And to have perhaps this could be a next suggestion. So the Recognition Sutras by Christopher Wallis, it may be very accessible because for a Western mind or for a contemporary mind. And then maybe to have some other perspective on the same topic, I would suggest the Pratyabhijñāhṛdayam by Jaideva Singh. And Jaideva Singh was one of the first to translate these texts of Kashmir Shaivism into English. And he has done this with several texts, several principal texts of Kashmir Shaivism. And I already said it in the last video that I feel a lot of love for Jaideva Singh. And it is mainly because I can sense his devotion. I can feel his devotion and his love for these texts and his reverence for his gurus, his teachers. If Swami Muktananda, for example, and Swami Lakshmanjoo, and he often references to them as well. So yes, picture of Swami Muktananda. Swami Muktananda was also a great admirer of the Kashmir Shaivism philosophy. So that's maybe something else what's nice to tell. And Jaideva Singh has written the Pratyabhijñāhṛdayam. So this is about recognition, just like the Recognition Sutras. It's about recognizing the self, self-recognition, seeing everything as a reflection of self. And he has also written a translation on the Spanda kārikās. So Spanda kārikās is something that when we have read the beginner series in the doctrine of vibration, that's very much about Spanda, and it also goes about the Pratyabhijñāhṛdayam. So we've already had an introduction into these topics then. And the Spanda kārikās is then the book on which that introduction is based upon. And Mark Dyczkowski, who is the writer of the doctrine of vibration, he has also translated the Spanda kārikās. and he has called it the Stanzas on vibration. So, the Spanda principle of consciousness, the contraction and expansion of consciousness, the throb of consciousness. And he has also written a thick book about it, with multiple commentaries. So that's what I said in the previous video as well. It may be beneficial to have multiple viewpoints of certain perspectives, of certain views, and then multiple commentaries on it, and then for us to contemplate on it. So we can read it and we can experience what resonates with us. So what resonates with our inner truth. So for me, I feel it's to be very beneficial to read multiple perspectives on a same topic, because I said these topics are deep. And then based upon this, I would contemplate on it, and I would feel what resonates with me, and I would leave what doesn't resonate with me at this moment in time. And perhaps it will resonate on a later moment when I will get back to the teachings. The Stanzas of Vibration, this is a deep work from Mark Dyczkowski, which follows the doctrine of vibration in his work. And then we have the Spanda kārikās of Jaideva Singh. So in the beginner series, I have talked about the Śiva Sutras, and the Śiva Sutras written by Mark Dyczkowski, or translated by Mark Dyczkowski, and Swami Lakshmanjoo. The Śiva Sutras commented by Swami Lakshmanjoo, and this would then be the Śiva Sutras by Jaideva Singh. And why I have recommended these in the intermediate and not in the beginner is because there is still a lot of Sanskrit text in it, within the text, and therefore it could be sometimes maybe a bit harder to grasp and to read through. So when we have a basic understanding of the text already, it may be a bit easier to work through these. But I find these very beautiful and very beautifully written as well, and very helpful because they're a lot thinner. So I can just quickly look something up and see a short commentary on it and a short exposition on it. And I found these to be very helpful. Within Chakralytics, that's maybe another thing that's nice to tell. We have an agreement with the publishing house that we are allowed to place the Sutras and the kārikās in within the Chakralytics app as a daily inspiration. So we have started with the Śiva Sutras now, and every day a new sutra of the Śiva Sutras will be shown in the Chakralytics app, and it's our intention to go to Spanda kārikās after that, and go to Pratyabhijñāhṛdayam after that, and then of course another book. There is an app, I think it's called Meditation 112 by Christopher Wallis, where he has an audio book of his translation of the Vijñāna Bhairava Tantra. And there's also on YouTube, he has videos on practices of the Vijñāna Bhairava Tantra. And Mark Dyczkowski has courses on the Vijñāna Bhairava Tantra. So these may provide a beautiful extra scope, but I found this book of Jaideva Singh to be a beautiful book of a beautiful translation of the Vijñāna Bhairava Tantra. And I'm still reading through it, but I am using some of the I've been having the practice that I'm also teaching with the Chakra Sadhana course, and but I also use techniques from the Vijñāna Bhairava Tantra, and yes, I highly suggest this work for practice and for techniques and for the yoga. And then I would like to recommend a book that I have read early in my journey. I think maybe just after Tantra Illuminated, or after the Secret Supreme of Swami Lakshmanjoo. No, after Tantra Illuminated. And it's an introduction to Tantric philosophy. It's the Paramārthasāra and of Abhinavagupta with commentary of Yogaraja. And it's translated by Lin Bansat Budon. And I'm so sorry for Kamalesh Shadatta Tripathi. I hope I said it correctly. And it's very insightful. I found it to be very insightful. A lot of it set a lot of things in motion for myself, a lot of things in movement, and I would read through it, and I would just read a few verses, a few kārikās, and then I would contemplate on it. And yes, it's very deep because it also shows a little bit of how a yogi or a tantrika would then be once liberated, or it would give you like very practical insights on how a yogi or a tantrika who has is fully realized how he is going about his day and how he is going about in life, and very much with pointers like this, really to the liberated tantrika or the jiva mukta, the liberated soul, the liberated while embodied. Yeah, so I highly recommend this one as well, a suggestion. So it's the introduction to tantric philosophy. It's the Paramārthasāra. I will leave links in the description. And then there is a book written by Paul Muller Ortega, The Triadic Heart of Śiva. And I haven't read it yet. So I find it hard to explicitly tell you what it is about. It's a translation of a text by Abhinavagupta, and it tends to really try to make sense of what Abhinavagupta is trying to say. That's what I have seen according to the reviews. And I have seen Paul Muller Ortega and his videos and lectures, and I found him to be very knowledgeable on this subject. And he has a yoga school as well called Blue Throat Yoga, where he practices a certain kind of meditation inspired by the teachings of Kashmir Shaivism. So this is one that comes up in the list of researches, and I'm looking forward to start reading this as well. So I wanted to include this in the intermediate section. It's also being mentioned on Mark Dyczkowski's website as well. And then this is like a preview for the advanced section, I would say. This is the Tantra of Abhinavagupta, and it's a summary of the Tantra Loka, and the Tantra Loka is like they are encyclopedic books, like thick books. I believe there are 11 of them, and to expound on the teachings of Kashmir Shaivism, especially of the philosophy of the Anuttaratrika. The Tantrasāra is a summary of it, a summary of the most important teachings of the Tantra Loka, according to aim to support the practitioner, to support the seeker on his journey. So it's like very compact, and I'm still reading through it. It's been translated by Chakravarti and edited by Boris Marjanovic. During my research, this one came to the front as being a legitimate translation of the Tantrasāra. So I would suggest this one. So this is the one that I'm reading, and that's the one that I would suggest. So these were the suggestions for the intermediate section. If you have any questions, if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments below, and I will. It's my intention to answer these questions. If you appreciate the content that we're creating, I warmly invite you to like and to subscribe, and thank you for watching. Namaste.